Hey guys, it's Enisa with All Things Steward. I'm actually coming to you today just to talk to you about something that happened in the staff meeting that we had today. I'm actually just getting home from that staff meeting, and what we did like a little activity, and it was extremely interesting. I'm sharing it because I feel like you should do it. And if you have kids, you should definitely do it with your kids. It's a way to open up just to see if there's any bullying going on, or just to see how your child feels that they're being perceived and what it is that they would like to be perceived as. Our supervisors are pretty cool, and we have one that always comes up with these interventions. And if you guys know me personally, you already know that I'm a counselor, but for those of you who do not know me, I am a counselor. I work with younger kids, ages 5 up to, 19, 18. I think it's 18. But we were given this paper. It's actually stapled, and it is basically 3 sheets of the same gingerbread man. So on the first sheet, because I want to make sure I'm telling you guys exactly what it was, so I kept my little paper. So on the first sheet, we had to either draw or write what you think people see you as. So what do you think other people see you as, their perception of you? And on the second sheet, we had to put, how do you actually feel on the inside? So how would I feel on the inside? How would you feel on the inside? And then the last one was, how would you like to be seen? Like, how would you like to be perceived? So with this, of course, we do things like this with the kids that we work with. Not particularly this activity, but we do activities like those. But this one really resonated with me because I've never really just sat down and did self-inventory like that in a very long time. And it was almost like we were put on the spot, but truth be told, we do that to our kids. We do that to the clients that we work with, our students if you're a teacher, all the time. So I'm very appreciative that our supervisors gave this to us and wanted us to do it. So on the first one, so I'm being a little vulnerable here, and it's fine with me, because if we want others to be vulnerable with us, we too have to be vulnerable. So this was, I didn't use words, I just used pictures. And so again, the first one was, how do you feel that others perceive you? And so basically, this is what I drew. I drew just hearts in the eyes, a big heart in the chest area, hearts in the hands, hearts and feet, a cute little bow tie, just smiling, and some roses. Like I feel like I project like everything's good over here. Like I'm straight. That I'm just loving and smiling and cheerful all the time. And that's what I feel like people see when they look at me, or just an abundance of strength. Excuse me, like I really don't need other people. But it was good. I feel like people see me as that. And then the more and more I think about it, I also feel like maybe people think that I could be a little bit conceited, because I am a little standoffish at times. And it's not that I'm conceited, it's just me trying to process things or try to figure out who people are and really what their intentions are. So I'm very observant. But that's not what I said during the staff meeting. I basically talked about how I feel like people just believe that I'm just happy all the time, like it's just straight and copacetic on my end. But when I thought about it a little bit more, I was like, maybe some people feel that way, but some other people may be thinking that, you know, she's a little bit difficult to approach. I don't know. So my second one was, let me go back and read it. The second one is how we actually feel on the inside. So this was mine, and although I still have a big heart, I question myself sometimes, just trying to make sure that I'm always making good decisions. So I can be a little bit insecure because when I approach people or when I do things, I want it to be projected the right way. I want it to be done correctly. I do have a big heart, but I do feel empty inside sometimes because I'm just typically a giver. And so my heart is not colored on this one because it can be empty at times. Just not empty in the sense of not wanting to give, but empty as far as just a little bit drained. So the last one is, how do you want others to see you? And so this one is mine. Still, I want people to know that, yeah, I am strong. I drew roses again. I am strong. And I do want people to look at me as a person of strength. But I also have the colored hearts, full hearts, and then I have the empty ones too. But I also want other people to realize that I'm human too. Although I may project being super strong and having it all together, we all need people. And so in our hearts, when we're always giving, we need that back. We need to be able to give because we're put on this earth to be able to be of service, but we also need somebody to put back into us as well. So I just want people to see me as a person that is smiling, that is happy, that want to be happy, but I do cry sometimes. I do get a little bit empty on the inside, and I just want people to see me as human. So when we did this activity, I was like, this is just something cool to do, because too often we're hearing about kids being suicidal, kids cutting themselves, and it's just so disheartening. But as parents and as professionals, we need to learn how to dig a little bit more. And just something so simple as 3 gingerbread men can open up all kinds of communications with your kids that you're working with or your children themselves, because you can actually see what you can just get in their mind and try to figure out what it is that they're actually thinking. What do they want from themselves? Because if there's something on the last page that they want to see for themselves, it is something that we can help them work towards. On that second page, it can get you to a place where you are more familiar with what that person visualizes themselves as, what is actually going on in the inside. And so at that point, you can determine if your child is being bullied, if they're having some insecurities that they necessarily won't talk to you about. And when you do this activity, I advise that you do it as well, because one of the supervisors did make a very good point, and that point was we have to be able to be vulnerable. We have to be able to be vulnerable. And when other people see your vulnerability, they are more likely to open up and be vulnerable themselves. Because if your children or the kids that you work with always see you as this strong person or a person that always have it together, how can they really relate to you? And I know it's just a little bit strange that something so simple like this made me think of all of those things. Like, what am I really projecting to these kids when I go into their home? Or what am I projecting to my own kids when I'm around them? I'm always the face of strength or the face of love, but we have to learn how to also allow other people around us to understand that we have insecurities, we have needs, and once you and it is okay to still be strong and to keep fighting and be hopeful and all of those things. That is the goal. That's what we want for ourselves and people around us. But the reality is, are we like that 24 hours? And the answer is no. But if you show your vulnerability to people, they will be more likely to open up to you. And so do this for yourselves. Share what you have going on with your kids or your clients, and then allow them to do it, because it really may be a part of a healing process. You'll learn more about that person, their goals, their conceptions, and I just think it's a pretty cool activity. So shout out to my supervisors for something so simple that can just go a long way. But anyway, I hope you guys do share this with the people in your lives. I mean, do it with your husband and your mom, whatever. Just do it, because you can learn more about people, and I think that's pretty awesome. That's what it's about, right? But anyway, thank you guys. And if you do decide to do this, comment down below and let me know how it worked out, and did you learn more about yourself or the people around you? Was it that you opening up to yourself and being honest and giving that to somebody else? Was that something that allowed the other people to open up to you? Just let me know. I want to see how it works out for you guys. But I cannot wait to go to work today, because I already have that intervention. I mean the sheets. I already have this. So today at work it's going to be easy. But anyway, guys, whenever there's darkness in the world, make sure you're the light. And if you're going to do it, make sure you do it with ease. Peace.